And David picks up 5 smooth stones from a brook and puts them in his shepherd's bag. David runs towards Goliath and throws a stone at him with his sling. The stone hits Goliath in the forehead and he falls to the ground. David cuts off Goliath's head. Do you think it was really the stone that made David win the battle against Goliath? Or was there something far greater at work? Let's go back a little further. Before the battlefield was thick with fear. The air was heavy, and the ground seemed to tremble with the weight of Goliath's challenge. The armies of Israel and the Philistines are frozen in place. Before them towered a giant, his armor gleaming and his presence overwhelming. David, a young shepherd boy, armed with nothing but a sling and 5 smooth stones, walks toward a towering giant clad in impenetrable armor. Goliath's voice booms across the valley, dripping with disdain as he sizes up his opponent. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" he mocks, laughing at the absurdity of this boy daring to challenge him. "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." But David doesn't flinch and speaks words that cut through the tension like a sword. "You are coming against me with sword, spear, and javelin. But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the Israelite armies, which you have defied." Now what does that mean? Why has David appeared to be so confident that he could defeat Goliath? Because he knew something that the giant in front of him didn't have. While the rest of the armies were looking at the size of the giant, David was looking down there. He knew this giant was not circumcised. Circumcision was the mark of being in covenant with God, a sign that the Israelites were God's chosen people under his protection and promises. Goliath had no such covering. He may have been a giant in the eyes of men, but before God he was defenseless. David boldly declares, "This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." David's words reveal the true source of his confidence. So not the stones, not the sling, but the authority of God's name. When he ran toward Goliath and released that stone, it was the power of God behind him, fulfilling a victory that was sealed long before the battle began. So you see, when you change your perspective, your action changes. You're now taking the offense and not the defense. In life we have many giants. We cannot avoid them. But when we change our mindset, when we trust God, your battle flips as God says, "My child, I'm in charge.